Hello there, it's your pals from Beyond the Bench barging in to tell you about the newest creation from our sponsor, Knack bags. If you're looking for a stylish new bag to accompany you for every trip to the beach, water park, mountain climb, or DMV visit, the Knack Sling Bag is the one you need.
Just like its bigger siblings, the Knack Sling Bag is built tough, impossibly stylish, and endlessly expandable for all your storage needs, but a third the weight and half the price. It's also available in 3 different colors, so you can look your best without getting sand in unpleasant places.
Just follow the link in the description to get yours today with free shipping on every order.
If you get your Knack Sling Bag, don't forget to post a picture of it on social media and tag us at Beyond the Bench 1 so we can see the amazing things you do with it.
Thank you to our friends at Knack Bags for sponsoring this episode. This is Beyond the Bench with Nick Morgasen and Nick Fodera. A look at sports and pop culture from beyond common sense. The show that constantly goes off the rails and might never get back on. When you don't belong, you're a bench warmer. On this show, there's no riding the bench. This is Beyond the Bench on the Empty the Bench Podcast Network. Welcome, everybody, to another edition of Beyond the Bench on the Empty the Bench Podcast Network, episode 40. I'm Nick Morgasen. Wait a minute. That's not Nick Fodera.
No, I took the time and I ate them. No, I'm Hirsch. I'm Kyle Hirshon, host of the Hirsch Show on Empty the Bench.
Now, you might think this is kind of coincidence because, again, Kyle and I have done shows in the past.
Yes, very much so.
So we used to do a show called the Nick and Kyle Show.
Yes, I remember that vividly.
How long ago was that?
Probably over a year or so.
God, time flies.
Yeah, and now we got a network with over a dozen shows.
A lot of shows, but actually, now that you brought that up, follow the podcast network on social media at ETB Network. Follow the show Beyond the Bench on Twitter. We do this every week, and we make everybody sick, but we do it anyway. Follow us on Facebook, Beyond the Bench 1. Follow us on Instagram, Beyond the Bench 1. Okay. So, Kyle, how you been?
I've been fine. It's been a hectic work week, but finally have some free time to get some editing done, get some stuff done for the podcast, and life.
By the way, and actually, this is the first time you and I have gotten to talk on a podcast that you've started your new Hirsch's Thoughts segment.
Yeah. Nick came up to me with this idea, and I thought it was a great idea. So 3 times a week, I give my thoughts into whatever comes across. I'm not sure what's going to happen tomorrow, but I'll probably be up late at night thinking about something and loudly expressing my thoughts, as I usually do.
You know what would be great, and you know this about me. You should do something on The Bachelor or The Bachelorette and all the crying and all the alcohol they consume during that show.
I don't even watch The Bachelor because I know it's so fake and so...
I don't watch it either. But I'm just saying, I could see the way you handled the Choco Taco or the way you handled Sesame Street or the lottery. I could totally see you like just like being like about The Bachelor or The Bachelorette, just being like, this is all drinking. This is all women screaming and crying because they're fighting over a man.
I mean, and vice versa, whatever. I mean, the fact that they allow this charade to go on for so long, I mean, I lost respect out of people once they started making a fantasy league on ESPN. Like, that's a legit thing. Yeah,
it is a real thing.
That deserves a choke. So,
wow. Well, I lost all respect for the show after Chris Harrison and his whole incident with the show.
Oh, yeah, forget him.
But we have a lot to get into. By the way, the show is presented by Knack Bags. Yes, actually, I just came back from my trip that I was on, a little vacation, little overnight, as Kyle is Vanna Whiting his bag.
Yes, very much so.
So use the code in the description, Beyond the Bench. It'll be in the YouTube description of the video. Click on it, and you will get free shipping. And everybody loves free shipping.
I love free shipping. It's really a make or break for me. Even if it's like $3.99 shipping, I'm like, but I paid $19.99 for like a shirt or something. I don't want to pay like $25 for a shirt, but like free shipping. I'll take that any time of the day.
I just came back from Foxwoods.
Oh, the wonder of it all, Foxwoods.
Not Fox Sports, Foxwoods.
I said Foxwoods. What the hell did I say?
See, now I'm not listening. Foxwoods in Connecticut. Actually,
Yes.
Mohegan Sun near Foxwoods in Connecticut.
Oh, okay, so you went to Uncasville. Okay, cool.
Yeah, I went. Whatever Indian tribe is making money off me. But
how much money did you end up losing?
I didn't. I actually came back 100 plus.
Oh, look at you! Look at you, you profiteer.
So actually, I'm the one time I actually came back with money.
I haven't been in the casino like to play in a casino in like 7+ years.
Do you like the casino?
I love the casino. It's just that I don't have the time to go to the casino. Rather yet, not enough finances to be able to go to the casino comfortably.
Well, I totally get that, by the way. But what's your game of choice? Is it the slots? Is it the tables? What is it?
I love playing slots, but if I could play one game for the rest of my life, it's blackjack. I love playing blackjack.
It's the best odds at the casino.
Yeah. I do fairly okay at it. But I think the best win I ever got was actually from, believe it or not, a Wheel of Fortune slot machine.
Why am I not surprised?
And it was funny. It was on a cruise ship when I did this, and I got the spin thing, where the wheel goes and stuff. You hit the button, and the people around me tell me, "Don't look at it, don't look at it." So I'm like, and then I look up, and it hits the $1,000 mark, and I'm like, "Holy shit!"
That's impressive.
Yeah, so I walked away with $1,000 in profit.
See, I like playing like 3-card poker at those tables, or Let It Ride, or
I need to learn how to play poker. I used to be able to play poker as a little kid, but I totally forgot.
Well, 3-card poker is pretty simple, and now people can say, "Oh my god, he's nerding out about card games at a casino." My point is, 3-card poker is you get 3 cards, and then they put out 3 cards, the dealer in front of them, and then you make your best hand. But your 3 cards in front of you count as a hand first. So if you have a pair, or you have a flush, 3 of the same, or you have a straight, 6, 7, 8, you automatically win, as long as they don't beat you with 3 cards in front. And then you put 3 bets out. It's either $5, $10, or $15 a piece each bet. And then there's what they call a 6-card bonus, which is your 3 cards plus their 3 cards. So I had one of those moments where you lose on your hand because you don't play it, because you can choose to not play the hand.
Right.
But the 6-card bet, you can win regardless if your hand doesn't win. So I had Queen, Jack, Deuce. And in 3-card, you play Queen High. Anything below Queen High, you throw away. But so I had Queen, Jack, Deuce. I totally forgot that the 3rd card in my hand was a deuce.
Uh-oh.
But it doesn't matter, because I could have looked back if I wanted to. All of a sudden, their 3 cards come out, deuce, deuce, whatever. Whatever that card. That card was irrelevant. But I was like, oh my god, I can't remember my 3rd card. And then I turn it over, and there's a deuce. So I made 3 deuces off the 6 card, and I won like $75-$80 just off that bet. So I was like, all right, hey, I didn't win the hand, but I won off the 6 card. I was like, the 6-card bonus is almost like an accidental winning bet,
I guess,
if you get lucky. So that was kind of my trip there. Somehow I finished 100 up. That doesn't happen very often. Usually when you go to a casino, like, you lose and you cry when you walk out of the casino.
Either that or cry drunk.
Right.
Depending on what you do.
Not the biggest drinker. But my point is, we had a good time. We ate at a restaurant called Michael Jordan's.
Is it from the basketball star, or is it?
Yes.
Okay.
I think, at least from what I've read.
What kind of food did they make?
It was very fine dining, which I was not expecting. It was like it was like a steakhouse, like that was very like fancy,
a very formal steakhouse,
and it was very good. Expensive, but it was very good. I felt like I had to lop off an arm and a leg to pay.
There goes
for
that
it.
100 profit.
But the food was really good. I had a 7-ounce fillet,
nice,
which was amazing, and It's expensive when you have to get the sparkling in the big bottle.
Oh, geez.
So that was one of those things where you're just like, all right, we'll spend. We're here anyway. And this we got this bacon appetizer.
Ooh.
And it's not the strips of bacon. It's like the bigger, like fattier pieces of bacon.
Oh, like back bacon or something.
Right. Like it's almost like a pork belly is the best way to describe it.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And it had black pepper and it was like a maple syrup. And it was like, oh my God. Like, this is not something you can eat on an everyday basis. Let me throw that out there first. But the food was good. And we went back and we played. And so that was the extent of that trip. It allowed me to get away from an overnight, away from the network for a little bit.
Yeah.
So, but all right, I'll get away from the trip and we'll talk some fun stories. Now, the reason Kyle fits well for the beginning of this show is because Kyle did a Hirsch's thoughts on this first story. Sesame Place has with a $25 million class action lawsuit claiming racism.
Yeah. Now, believe it or not, when I saw this, I thought immediately of the video that came out a couple of weeks ago of the character nonchalantly saying no to the other two little black girls. But it turns out that there was a separate incident last month where a family paid for like an exclusive meet and greet with the characters, and the characters just refused to acknowledge them.
Yeah, I mean, I remember when you. By the way, go check out that Hirsch's thoughts. It was really well done, and by the way, you really nailed the beginning with the.
Who knew that Rosita was?
That was really good, by the way. But I watched that back a few times again, like, and as I kept watching it more and more, I'm like, this makes sense. Like this, watching Rosita, who is again, like you said, Rosita's a Latina too. I was like, and I'm like, all right, this is real irony going on here. Like, so Latina and black girls, like you have the clash going on here.
Right. But then again, the person in the suit could have been white, or black. We don't even know who was in the suit.
No, but I'm just meaning in general. You have two cultures clashing here. Like,
yeah.
And you're like, wait, what just happened here? Like, what?
Again, this is supposed to be a place, Sesame Street has been a big proponent of diversity, equity, and inclusion, but they can't even do it at their own theme park.
I mean, I get Sesame Place. It's really popular with kids. They all like going there.
Yeah.
And we see what's going on. And now you have $25 million lawsuits and a massive issue with Sesame Place.
Yeah, and apparently this isn't the only issue that this park has had in recent months. You've had people claim that characters would. I think there was one video of a character like going like this and pushing a black girl down or whatever. Do I think that what's your take? Who do you think might win the lawsuit, or do you think they might just settle?
You know how a lot of these cases go. There's going to be a settlement because usually what happens in these cases is they reach for the sky for a big amount of money. And then they're like, all right, we'll settle in the middle. We'll give you something so you don't go away empty-handed. That's what I think is going to happen.
It's a nice parting gift to Turtle Wax, or whatever they gave on the game shows. But no, this is gone way out of control, and rightfully so. I at first I thought it was, it's just a coincidence. I think what happened was the people before the two black girls, the mother wanted Rosita to hold the baby while taking a picture, but she couldn't do that, obviously, because they can't see out of the suit. And then, I think they got frustrated and they were just like, nope, sorry, we got to keep going. But now that more evidence and more pictures and videos are coming out of this happening to other kids of color, but, they'll happily engage with white kids, this has gone to a much deeper hole than it really has.
I thought originally when you did the Hirsch's thoughts on this, I thought that maybe they couldn't hold the kids because it was a COVID issue. That's what I thought originally when they said that like they refused to hold the kids. I thought maybe it had to do with just being safe. I thought originally.
Well, it is safety. COVID, I don't think has any sort of difference. I don't think they were able to do it from the get-go. Because for one, it's dangerous for the kid, and two, dangerous for the performer because they have such limited vision. I think they can only see through the mouth, and sometimes the mouths close.
Right.
When the mouths are closed, they can't see anything.
It's just this whole thing, and I get it from the kids' standpoint. I feel bad for the kids, like you said in the video.
Oh yeah, absolutely. They deserve better.
I mean, it's a bad message when someone in a Rosita costume is shaking their head no to two black girls. Like, how old were they? Like 3 or 4 years old?
Something along the lines, yeah.
You're right. And you said it in the video as well. It's an emotional moment for the kids that they will never forget. And now that's in the back of their minds. Like, oh my God, is this going to happen to me? Like going forward in my life.
Yeah, it's like, Rosita could have been their absolute favorite character. They watched them on TV. And then when they finally get to see her in real life and they, just treat you like, you're just garbage, that's a pretty poignant moment.
They're lucky they didn't sue Sesame Street and the production company.
No, I don't think Sesame Street should be liable. If the park is a different entity.
Well, it's technically the Rosita character, right?
I mean, yeah, but if anything, they should be also, no, I take that back. I was going to say sue the actual person itself, but no, I think going after the park itself, considering there are other incidents on record.
Right. But at the same time, you're licensing the property, right? And the names and the likeness?
It's a very tough issue. I think from my standpoint, as someone who works in production, considering its moral lines of, yes, Sesame Street it's got their name on it. It's got their licensees on it, the characters, the puppets, but
it's a tough one.
It really is. I don't think Sesame Street, the company, Sesame Workshop, I don't think they should be held liable because they're not the ones who are teaching this stuff. Do they own
the property of the parks or no?
You know what? That's a good question. Let's look it up.
Because I always question that, like when there's parks for, like, say Disney, say something, and I'm sure this has happened before at Disney where kids get ignored or something. Technically, I think Disney owns almost everything that they have their name on. I would
pretty
think.
Much. Now, here's a bit of breaking news.
Okay.
They're owned by SeaWorld.
What?
Sesame Place is owned by SeaWorld Parks and Entertainment. Now, if anything now, they should go after SeaWorld.
Wait a minute. You just blew my mind for a second, like that they're owned by SeaWorld. Like, what? What does SeaWorld have to do with Disney? I guess it's just an ownership thing, right?
They're a parent company. So apparently what ended up happening was the current properties are actually Busch Gardens, Sesame Place, SeaWorld, Discovery Cove, and they have 3 water parks. They've got Aquatica Chain, they've got the Aquatica Chain, Adventure Island, and Water Country USA. Oh wait, I didn't know there was a Sesame Place in.
They're all over.
I thought there was only one. I thought it was only Philly, but no, there's one in San Diego.
There's quite a few, I think, actually. I don't know. This is tough. Like, this is very, like, the one example that comes to my mind, and this is more of a joke on television or a parody.
Yeah,
is like when Disney bought what was it, 24, or they took over 21st Century Fox.
Yes.
and you see Seth MacFarlane having all the characters of Family Guy making Disney jokes, which makes me laugh hysterically. Oh, we're a Disney network. We can't say that. Like people think, oh my God, they're destroying their parent company. I'm like, no, it's a parody. There's a difference.
Yeah.
This, on the other hand, this is a real issue.
Yes. This has nothing to do with parody. This involves real issues and unfortunate circumstances. As much as I would like the plaintiffs to win, we know this is going to be settled out of court. Nothing's going to get resolved, and there will be more anger and tension.
Now, we've seen cases like this before, and bigger money, millions upon billions people sue for. You know why they do that? The reason they do that is because they sue for the Stone Age and the atmosphere, because then they know they're going to settle. That's why they do it.
Of course, they're going to get something out of it. They're going to become rich out of this. And you know, I hate, you know, that the courtroom is now becoming their source of income.
The bank.
Yeah, it's just...
Now, let me ask another question, though. Would you...
Yeah.
I don't know if I would put this in this category, but would you say that it's possible you could file this under the stupid lawsuit category? I'm talking about like lawsuits where people just do it for the sake of suing for it.
Okay, not the specific one?
Right, not the specific one in general, but like...
Yes.
Because I feel like people will sue just for the heck of suing sometimes.
Yes, like the people that get sued, the people that sue like McDonald's or whatever fast food chain because their coffee was too hot.
I love talking about that case. I did that as a case study in college when I took a media law class.
I forget what even happened. Did that person win or did the company?
So I thought originally that McDonald's was able to say like scram, but then when I looked it up again, she won apparently.
Because I don't think they had the proper warning on the cup, did they?
They didn't have the what's it called thing, the cup with
the caution.
Yeah, and this was before the holder, the little cardboard holder.
Yeah.
By the way, and I'll never understand this, and I will still question this to this day. Why would you put the coffee between your legs?
Americans.
And I get it. So she got third-degree burns. I understand that the coffee was too hot, okay? But just think common sense with me for a second. If you're driving a car and you put the coffee cup between your legs, what do you think is going to happen?
This.
So I get it. I know why she won, because she got physical injuries from it, but that's one of those dumb lawsuits, in my opinion.
And this is where a cup holder comes in handy.
You're right. Hey, all cars have them, even the expensive cars.
Even the cardboard cup holder that they give at the restaurants. Like, that's fine.
I guess. But, all right, speaking of crazy and wild situations, Brittney Griner. Now, I've been on the sports angle of this, picking this one apart a lot lately. So she came out with a quote that said, "I flew to Russia despite travel warning." Now, apparently she got travel warnings from the government that basically said, "Don't go to Russia!" And she did it anyway. Now, I kind of, and I've had a differing opinion than a lot of people on this story, that she did this to herself.
You know, people on other political spectrums have told me that that she deserves this because she, quote unquote, disrespected America by not standing for the giant sky cloth.
That's bad. I wouldn't say that. That's overboard.
No, well, of course, Republicans and MAGA conservatives will go on that route because, you know, they don't care. You know, I can name specific people, but I'd rather not because I'd rather stay alive.
Yeah, I agree with you on that one.
Now, should the country bring her home? Yes.
Yes.
They should bring her home, but not for what they're asking for.
You're talking about the whole prisoner swap situation.
Yeah, I don't like that. Because this is somebody who is being jailed for having hash oil, I think is what it was. Hash oil?
It was hashish oil, yeah.
Hashish oil. Okay, I couldn't.
She had the cartridges and the hashish oil.
Yeah. And apparently that's a big no-no in Russia. And I think, if I'm correct, this was before Russia began their assault on Ukraine.
Yes. Yes. Yeah, I think so, yeah. Because it's been like 200 days or something that she's been there.
All I remember is it was like late February when it was announced, and a couple days later, Russia began their invasion.
Now, let me preface this with a few things. I want her home as much as everybody else does in the U.S. 2, Russia is using her as a political football.
Absolutely,
okay?
Yes.
Because my whole thing is, you want to keep her for 30 days and make a point out of it, or 40 days and you want to make a point out of it, go ahead, go nuts. But then you got to send her home, and that's it. But
yeah, but then when you're sentencing them to 10 years of hard labor for oil,
yeah, that's a problem. It's not even hard labor. 10 years of jail.
Jeez. So,
but I'm still gonna fall on the sword and say that she did this to herself by putting the cartridges and the hashish oil in her luggage. You didn't think that what happens every time you walk into an airport?
You get checked, security check for anything, any illegal contraband.
And the other thing, and I'm sure you know this very well,
yes,
is when you go outside the U.S., what is more stricter when you go outside the U.S.?
Drug laws.
Okay, so, and I know this from doing my research. Singapore, if you bring drugs into Singapore, what's the penalty?
I don't know. What is it?
Death.
Jesus.
So if you smuggle any drugs into Singapore, it's death. Punishable by death. It's the safest country in the world.
Mm-hmm.
That and Israel. 2 of the safest airports and areas in the country. World. Because they do not F around. They will hold you accountable to the 10 millionth degree on
Very
drugs.
much so.
But that's the problem. When you're in the U.S., if you carry around marijuana or you carry around, I don't know, pick your drug, good choice, then it doesn't matter. You get a slap on the wrist and you're back out again.
Yeah.
So that's why people think when they leave the country, all right, I'm not going to get caught, whatever.
Hey, what do you mean? What have I done? So, yeah. No, I mean, she claims that she uses the hashish oil for painkillers or whatever, a natural painkiller. Now, she also said she flew despite the warning because she wanted to, quote, help her team out. I get wanting to help at your basketball team.
Right. So just to explain that to you and to everybody else who doesn't understand that, the WNBA, first of all, makes, and this is no joke, WNBA makes about 15 to 20 times less in salary than an NBA player.
Very much so. It's not a sustainable career by any means.
But here's the difference. And I had to explain this to Nick and Tom on the Empty the Bench podcast that I do on this network, that she makes $220,000. Okay. And Nick, who's usually here, says to me, well, she's going because she's not making enough money. And I said, excuse me, $220,000 a year is not enough money? Do you know that's more than the average person makes in the U.S.?
Mm-hmm. I don't even make half of that.
My point is, I think she gets like close to $1 million because outside of the country, they're looking for stars and to play in the off season. And so they pay like 3-4 times the amount of money.
Yeah. I mean, other countries around the world, like China, they pay for a lot of basketball players. I mean, Jesus Christ. I mean, but yeah.
But I'm tired of this excuse that $220,000, they're making it look like $220,000 is being in the poorhouse.
Right. Now, I get, I get what you're saying, but also at the same time, there should be at least some sort of equity between the WNBA and the NBA. The only problem is WNBA gets far less attendance than regular National Basketball Association.
I agree with you. And the whole statement, I don't know if you saw LeBron James's statement that he made after the Brittney Griner situation, where he basically said, you know what? Hey, Brittany, when you're all done, you get out, you should just stay in Russia.
Mm.
And I said, what? What do you mean stay in Russia? What is so that's
LeBron said this.
LeBron said this. If you look it up, I don't remember the exact quote. LeBron basically told Brittany you should just stay in Russia. And that's when my response to LeBron was, leave your NBA career behind, leave your production company behind, leave all your investments behind, and go live in Russia.
Yeah. You want to act like that, you should join her.
He makes $40 million a year.
Not even that. Not only just from basketball, but he's making much more with his other business ventures.
No, but I'm comparing the NBA salary to the WNBA salary. She's making $220,000. He's making $40 million.
Yeah.
My point is, shut up, LeBron. You don't know anything, obviously. Don't get me wrong. He has his charter school that he helps underprivileged kids and all that stuff. That's all good stuff. But you need to think before you make a statement like that.
Especially when it comes to your colleagues in the sport.
And don't get me wrong, the WNBA deserves more attention. There's a lot of stars in that league.
Yes.
And they don't get paid enough. Some of it's not a living wage. But Brittney Griner's salary is living wage. Yes.
It is sustainable.
So she needs to get her stuff together. The politics is a whole different issue. She should be home. You and I agree with that. That she should be home.
Very much so.
But that's going to be all up to the Russian court system. And I think Brittany should keep her mouth shut and stop saying that she needs the hashish oil for medical treatments. That's not helping her case.
No, it's not.
But that's neither here nor there at this point. All right. For some more political snafu, and Kyle's going to love this. Teen body shamed by Matt Gaetz gets the last laugh. Now, we all love Matt Gaetz on this program. You love to joke about Matt Gaetz. We all love to joke about the state of Florida.
Oh, do we love the accused child trafficker?
But this just takes the cake, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, very much so. So her name is Olivia Juliana. She's from Houston, Texas. She appeared on a show called The Rita, where she discussed her issues with Matt Gaetz and everything. At a recent conservative convention in, where else? Florida, I think.
Of course. Why not?
So he said that all pro-choice women protesting for abortion rights are, quote, too fat and ugly to be impregnated. You know, it's just so fascinating to have a United States official who represents the country call millions of people around the country fat and ugly who want safe and legal reproductive health care.
I mean, this has been a problem since the Roe v. Wade laws were just overturned. What is it, a couple weeks ago now or a month ago now? But
honestly, this goes back to when in 2018 or better yet 2020 when Gaetz and what's her name, Marjorie Taylor Greene, were elected to Congress. They started opening up their mouths and people started getting angry. And, you know, they keep opening their mouths, not realizing that they're doing much harm to their constituents than what they're doing to themselves.
You know what? And I can't deal with Gaetz. I can't deal with Marjorie Taylor Greene. Thank God Twitter finally decided to throw her off there. And she tried. I'm sure you saw this, by the way. She tried to use her political account to remain on Twitter. And I laughed at that. I was like, you know, she's going to get caught eventually.
Very much so.
And they did. They threw her off there too.
Yeah.
But you know what? why do these people? Is there like some happy pills going on down in Florida?
You know, it's just when you have as radical of a governor as Ron DeSantis. Yes, that's his name. Ron DeSantis, whatever. His name is Ron DeSatan. When you have somebody who's limiting freedom of education for people who identify with a different sexuality or, have a different gender than the normal, apparently that's a big problem for them because parents don't want to quote unquote indoctrinate their children. We see that here on the island all the time with the fucking loud majority. Excuse me for my language.
No, you're good. You're good. Yeah.
But, you see that all the time. And, in my field of work, I'm considered the enemy. So, and a couple of weeks ago, and actually not a couple of weeks ago, a couple of days ago, we were threatened.
Yeah, I mean, the way I look at this and the way I look at Florida, fuck Ron DeSantis, first of all.
Very much so.
I'm usually not a political person by any means, even though you and I worked at a certain unforeseen place for quite a while. But so I don't say that out of political choice. I just say that because I don't like the man, because I just don't like the way he handles things. Yeah. If everyone remembers properly, him and why am I forgetting his name all of a sudden? Texas. Gaetz? No, Texas.
Greg Abbott?
Yeah, Abbott and DeSantis were the first two governors to sign the document for no masks. Yeah. So if that doesn't tell you what they think of this world or their states.
Yeah. And to continue off of what Matt Gaetz said, obviously people, there was pushback against it. And you know what he said to those people, who were upset by his words? Stay offended. You're dealing with a literal high school bully who has whatever power he has. I don't know what district he serves in Florida, but remember, the guy is an accused child trafficker. This guy's an accused pedophile. So, you really can't trust a guy who's fucked kids.
Jesus. So he represents the 1st district.
Okay. My hope is that when election time comes around in November, that they're going to vote his ass and Marjorie Taylor Greene's and whoever the hell, like New Jersey resident Dr. Oz, I
can't get over that one, by the way. He was bad at Jeopardy, and he's bad at being a representative.
Yes, especially if you're running for a state you don't even live in.
Yeah, that one I don't understand, to be quite honest, unless he technically lived in New Jersey. If that, or
he's got a house in New Jersey. That's where his documents are, New Jersey.
So he's pulling the technicality card.
Very much so.
So I'm reading the tweet, by the way, from Olivia. I'm sure you saw that.
Yes.
Well, at Matt Gaetz, I have to hand it to you. I didn't think you cared about us abortion rights activists, but your spotlight on me has helped me raise $50,000 for abortion funds in the last 24 hours. So I made you a special thank you card. It almost feels like hashtag Matt Gaetz is pro-abortion.
Yeah. So actually, what's funny? Just about 30 seconds ago, she just tweeted out that we have now raised over $800,000 for abortion funds in the last 3 days.
Wow.
Now, last time we read this, it was at about 300,000. To think, that's a little, let's see, 8 divided by 3, that's like what, 3 point something or whatever, but no. But still, to raise nearly $1 million in 3 days, my hat's off. Abortion is healthcare.
Wow. That's impressive. I mean, to raise that amount of money in that small amount of time.
Yeah, it's a group called Gen Z for Change. And right now their goal is $850,000. They're at $811,107.70.
Damn.
So yeah, I mean, this is a huge deal. And people like this, the Gen Z for Change people, it kind of gives me a sense of hope that there will at least be some sort of change in our lifetimes. Maybe not in our lifetimes, but maybe theirs.
I hope so. I mean, people need to stop having like harsh judgments about reproductive rights and abortion. I think people are way over the top. Well, you're not allowed to have this and you can't do this. Listen, everybody, it's a woman's rights to do what they want.
You should read the Bible.
Thank you, Shady Sharpton.
Yeah. Breaking news, people. The Bible says life begins at first breath. You don't breathe during conception, morons.
And that's another tip by Kyle Hirshon.
But no, that's the Bible says that life begins at first breath. So technically, when you're in the womb, you don't count. And when people get pissed off for women having an abortion for legit medical reasons, when the fetus is literally like the size of a gummy bear, that's what they're upset over. Wait.
Oh no!
Wait. Let's say the guitar pick is a fetus. This is what you're upset about. This is what you're upset about. I mean, idiots.
At least you're not throwing water bottles this time.
I don't have any.
That'll be a future episode. Wait. No. I knew that was going to happen. All I can say is that Matt Gaetz and the state of Florida, Ron DeSantis, or Ron DeSanto, I should say.
Ron DeSanto, nice. Yes.
Can we just fold the state of Florida at this point? Except for Disney. Keep Disney, but fold everything else.
Why don't we take Disney World and push it somewhere else?
And SpongeBob reference number 1. Yeah,
but yeah. Florida is so fucked because you have all these people coming from they're defecting from Cuba, and they are they hear the word socialism and they think, I'm going to die, because that's what they had to deal with in Cuba, but they were dealing with a dictatorship, not like complete socialism. So that's when the Republicans get their advantage by just abusing the word socialism.
By the way, and the reason I bring this up is because you mentioned socialism. I don't know if you remember learning this in high school. I did. Do you remember Michael Moore's movie on Cuba?
I don't think I watched it.
It was a whole movie about how Cuba supposedly has socialism in medicine, and they could get it for free, and it didn't matter, and all that stuff.
I know I watched something on Michael Moore, but it wasn't that.
Well, there was Cuba. There was the one about Detroit with the cars and all that stuff.
That wasn't that either.
But or actually no, it wasn't cars. It was Flint, Michigan with the water. That's the one I'm thinking of. But he talked about this whole thing where they have socialism in medicine and everyone can get it for free. Well, believe it or not, that was proven not to be true.
Yeah.
So, in my opinion, Florida is just a full bed of lies.
Florida is so fucked. No matter whoever takes over as a governor or whatever, if DeSantis doesn't, get in, whatever.
So I'll throw one more interesting story at you in this political realm since we're already stuck down this rabbit hole.
Uh-huh.
Chris Cuomo is back on TV for NewsNation.
This is, as someone who works in news, and I've been following NewsNation for a while, this is literally their last-ditch effort to try and boost ratings.
It's not going to work.
No, because if it doesn't work, the NewsNation is dead.
So would you classify this in the category of a certain news network that just went off the air, or close to it, OAN?
No, they didn't go off the air. No.
They're
Because
close.
They are not being. They're not going to be able to be seen on Verizon Fios. They can't be seen on DirecTV or whatever.
They
So
got banned from YouTube.
Yeah, they got banned from YouTube. They basically only have like whatever internet or like streaming channels they have left, and that's it.
But I'm saying Owen is basically dying. Like, it's slowly dying.
Yeah. Oh, and I love the anchor who's like, we need to settle our differences. We need to come together, join us one to save the network. It's like, no!
That doesn't work like that.
You're reporting literal propaganda and fake news.
And that's the problem. Like, that's why YouTube banned them, because like I think they were, and don't quote me because I don't know, but I think they were like reporting misinformation on COVID at one point.
I think that's what happened, but I can't be certain.
But I don't know. But the reason Cuomo is on NewsNation is because no one else wants him. No one.
Yeah, nobody else wants him. And you know what was funny? He almost got a job as a firefighter.
I did hear about that. Yeah,
in Southampton, but he did not agree to it because of the time commitments.
Of course, because doing news.
Bitch, I worked from midnight to 9 for 4 months. It sucked the life out of me, but you know what? I did it.
Hey, wait a minute. I'll go one step further. I worked 11 p.m. to 6 a.m. for a year and a half.
And guess what? You did it.
Excuse me. And I did it, and I might have bitched and moaned a few times, but somehow I still did it.
You did it. That's the only thing. You did it.
Trust me, it was horrible. I had to reverse sleep for a year and a half.
It sucked.
But you know what? And by the way, I think Cuomo's in the middle of a lawsuit, if I'm not mistaken, also with CNN. He's trying to sue for his money. By the way, $125 million.
Settlement. It's going to be a settlement.
He'll probably get, what, like 50 or 60 and call it a day?
He'll get his due. He'll call it a day. He'll retire, whatever. But now, Chris Cuomo, this move by NewsNation is not a good one. As someone who is, in this industry of journalism and news, no, that's literally just bringing up names, and it's not good for ratings.
They're name chasing. I can think of a certain station that name chases a lot. Yeah. So we worked for one that name chased, and is still name chasing. So don't hire somebody for their name. This is a lesson that most people don't get. Hire someone because their quality of work is good, not because of their name.
Yeah, because for all we know, they could be horrible at the job, and they could be absolute douchebags to not only the staff and the crew, but their bosses as well.
So that's what I have to say on that one. All right, let's move on to some more interesting stories that our intern Sarah pulled, which I love these every week when she pulls these. So a woman suffers a bloody... Oh, did I pull that? No, I pulled that one. Okay, let me go back for a second. I pulled this one. Woman suffer... We'll get to hers in a second. Hers are really good. But yeah. Woman suffers bloody face after getting smacked with a durian. I'm hopefully saying that correctly.
No.
Nope. Am I not saying that correctly?
Durian.
Smacked in the face with a durian by a debt collector in Thailand.
It would honestly make sense if it happened in the States, because I would honestly take that rather than all the harassing phone calls.
But what?
I mean, there's so many problems with this story. For one thing, a durian is so fucking stinky, so you're gonna fucking vomit all over the place from all the stench. 2, it's spiky, it's sharp, it's going to break the skin. You're probably going to bleed.
If you watched Finding Nemo, I think you saw quite a few of these. I think.
Yes. Durians are not that good. They're horrible, and I'm honestly I don't.
But wait a minute. Why the fuck are you walking around with a durian? Why?
I don't know. It's Thailand, and it's just apparently what this woman's claiming. She parked her motorbike in front of a temple to answer a phone call when she was allegedly slapped in the face with the spiky peel. And then reportedly the attacker fled the scene in a pickup truck.
But still, what kind of fucked up brain do you have to have walking around with a durian?
Debt collector.
No, I get that. But couldn't she like go to court and say like that's a physical harm or physical threat?
I don't know.
Or physical bodily harm?
I don't know how it works with Thailand and all that stuff, because she says that she has contacted an official government department that deals with debt management for help. The lender reportedly agreed to pause the repayment, but later reappeared at her home to demand money. She says she's still being threatened by the debt collector.
Wait a minute. So it says she admitted to borrowing 20,000. I don't know how to pronounce that.
I think it's baht.
20,000 baht,
Which is about $550
US, from a money lender last year to open a shop with her friend. Due to financial struggles, she said her interest payment turned into 700,000 baht, approximately a little over $19,000 US. Yikes. That's a lot.
Yeah. Honestly, when you're still dealing with COVID, it's not the best idea to open up a store when nobody's going out.
Well, unless you're doing delivery and all that shit. But like,
not even that. I mean, you're not getting enough traffic to make at least the money needed to repay.
Well, right, to keep the doors open, really. But I don't know. But I wouldn't take a durian and attack somebody. Sorry, that's not on the bingo card last time I checked.
Yeah.
You and I have seen a lot of strange things. A lot of strange things.
I wouldn't be surprised if this happened in Florida, of all places.
Wow. Why I have a feeling you were going to say that.
Because breaking news, because I'm right.
Yeah, that's a good point. All right, now let's move on to the stories I said we were going to talk about.
Okay.
So, and I love all these stories when Sarah pulls these. So, whale lands on boat of Massachusetts coast. So
I can imagine how this went.
So I'm sure you've been on boats where you've seen close encounters, right?
Not to my knowledge, but I've been on boats where there has been definitely some sights of marine life.
So it says a whale breached and landed on the bow of a small boat, briefly submerging it in the water in a stunning moment caught on video Sunday morning off the Massachusetts coast.
Now, I'm gonna do a quick interpretation of what it looked like. So let's say this is the boat, and this is the whale. That's what it did. The boat didn't sink, but it definitely caught water.
Well, yeah, it's a large whale. What do you expect?
At least a few thousand pounds, maybe tons.
So one of the people said it was, quote, it was insane. One witness said, the guy was just in the wrong place at the wrong time. That's all. Pops up, bang, right on the bow of the guy's boat.
Now, from what I understand, it seems like the operator of the boat did not get hurt.
How?
I don't know. And also no major damage that affected the seaworthiness of the vessel.
What?
So this is a horrible situation, but it's probably the best case scenario. Like nobody got hurt and the boat's not damaged.
And by the way, I'm sure you've seen these stories locally here in our New York area. The sharks that have been coming very close to the beach.
Sharks.
So if you're from the Long Island area where we are, don't go to Jones Beach. At least in some of the fields, don't go to Tobay because you might see a giant shark wash up.
No, but like, here's the thing though. Sharks live in water. Water is wet. I mean, you're going into their territory, but at the same time, it's happening a lot more frequently. There was a couple of attacks this year, and it could have been bad.
Well, didn't someone like get their foot bitten like while they were surfing in the water, if I'm not mistaken?
Somebody got bit. They received pretty decent injuries, but their foot's still there.
I mean, what's worse, a shark attack or jellyfish?
Oh, I don't know about a shark, but I've been stung by a jellyfish. It sucks.
Ugh. By the way, is that theory of I know this is totally weird. Is the theory of how to put a sting out really true? If you know what I'm talking about.
I don't know about that because they didn't do that with me. What they did was they put some like numbing cream on my, because I got stung on my elbow.
Oh, I don't know. They said on the leg, like if it's just all right. I'm going to say this: if you're eating, don't watch this while you're eating. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, apparently, piss takes away the pain, but no, I don't think that's true.
Like I heard that, and like they keep making jokes about this, like in TV sitcoms. Just pee on it; it'll go out. And I'm like, ugh, gross.
No, I don't think that's true at all.
I think that like some kind of sick fetish or something like that. Someone will purposely get stung. By the way, don't get stung purposely. Not a good idea.
Yeah, especially if it's a man of war, you'll probably die.
Isn't that how Irwin passed away, or no?
No, he got stabbed in the heart by a stingray.
Oh, I keep thinking it was a jellyfish. I didn't know.
No, stingray.
God, talk about freak injury, freak death.
Yeah,
but I don't know. Just be careful. If you see a giant sea form,
if you see a fin, get out of the water.
Just like run and do whatever. Oh, let's see. What's Sarah?
Let's see. She sent out the our intern Sarah sent out the shark tracker.
Oh my God!
Now on the island itself, there has been a few sightings. There was one. Actually, this is like archived images of sharks over the last few years.
Whoa! Now that's interesting.
That's actually really cool. This one from 2015. This is really cool picture of this shark caught in Hampton.
This is insane. Like, and maybe I'll post this later on social media if I have time to. But
yeah,
my point is that there's a lot of sharks.
Yeah, there's a lot of sharks. But for the love of God, just be careful.
Oh, that's interesting. Sarah also said you could track sharks now. If you click the shark, you could track its path.
That's amazing. I wonder how you can do that. Like, they don't have any. I know they don't have anything attached. It's like sonar and all that stuff. But still, no, that's pretty insane.
Well, I would think Coast Guard and all of them, they track all the land. I mean, you could probably.
They probably did.
Or don't they have marine biology? I mean, they could all track that stuff. I mean. What do I know? I mean, it's interesting. I didn't know you could track sharks. That might save people from actually dying.
Yeah.
But, all right. From a shark attack to a collision at an airport.
Oh, Lord.
So, a Delta plane bound for Atlanta collides with another plane at a Miami airport. Now, we're already having problems at airports. We can't get enough pilots to fly. Now, we're crashing planes.
Don't tell me this now. I gotta get on a plane in 2 months.
Where are you going? Oh, right. You're going to LA. I didn't know if you were talking about that one or something else. But
no, I'm going to LA. But don't tell me this. I gotta get on a plane in 2 months.
By the way, are you scared about going on a plane like since COVID or no?
No, I've been on many flights. I love flying. I love actually going on planes.
Since COVID?
Well, I haven't been on since COVID. I haven't flown a plane in like 5 years.
Shit, 5 years. So even before COVID, you weren't really flying.
No, because I wasn't really traveling anywhere.
So are you not nervous at all about any of it?
No.
You still have to carry the vaccine card into the airport?
I don't know.
I think you have to. I think.
I mean, I am. I mean, I'm getting boosted soon. I think we're both of us getting boosted because we're going to try and do something together. Which
for
we'll
your
talk
show.
About another time. Yeah, for another time.
That's going to be fun. Hopefully, we're able to do it.
Yeah, hopefully so. But yeah, no, I think, I've always enjoyed flying. I don't know why. It's just the look of it all. I love looking out the window and seeing, the sky and all the, it's just so cool.
Yeah, I do. Sometimes I'll take pictures out the window, like while I'm flying.
Yeah.
People will be like, "How did you get that?" Well, I just slid the window part open and I took a picture.
Right? Yeah, it's that easy. I'm trying to find the picture.
But it says here the two Delta planes collided with one another at Miami International Airport as they were getting ready to depart. One of the planes, Delta Flight 1654, was leaving Miami for Atlanta, and the other Delta Flight 2911 was heading to Boston. Spokespeople at the Miami airport said the Boston-bound plane was pushing back from the gate before departure when it made contact with the Atlanta-bound plane.
Okay, so it wasn't like nose to nose.
That
could have been bad.
That's still bad. Dumb. That's dumb.
Yeah.
Where are the people with the wavy cone things?
Yeah, the cone things.
We're like, hello, danger, stop. Maybe you should stop before you hit the back of a plane.
Or better yet, like what cars have now, they should have rear view cameras and side cameras on the wings and on the rear of the plane.
Can we do what they do in cars where they put the backup sounds now? Can we put that on the airplane?
Like beep, 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 beep.
Stop! But I don't know.
I found a picture of what I took on the plane when I was going to LA the first time. You know what this is?
That's right above, right?
That's the Grand Canyon.
All right, that's pretty cool.
And this is the Rocky Mountains.
That's pretty cool too.
Yeah, from the plane.
That's impressive. I'll give you that. But yeah. I don't know. We're having problems keeping pilots employed, and if we're just gonna crash planes, might as well just wave the red flag.
Might as well.
White flag. Excuse me.
White flags. Yeah, but yeah, no. This is definitely a lack of competence on their part.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I like going on airplanes too and flying. I haven't been to an MLB stadium in what's going to be 3 seasons now, and I've been doing it every year. We were supposed to, but obviously COVID came and destroyed all that. But I don't know. We'll see. All right, we'll quickly get to a few more stories. Kyle's going to love this one.
Oh, great. I'm going on a boat too. You have to put this stuff in my mind.
I love this. So, not what happened, but I just love that it has to do with everything you're about to be doing.
That's something that I have to do in 2 months. So, yeah, thanks a lot.
So, a cursed cruise ship where 120 passengers tested positive for COVID-19.
Oh, jeez.
Is now they face 20-foot waves and a brutal wind, stranded off of Australia.
Jeez.
Now, if I could read some of the data here, a Coral Princess cruise ship with more than 2,000 passengers on board is stranded at sea. Strong winds, 20-foot waves are preventing the ship from safely docking in Australia. This isn't the ship's only challenge in recent days. Last week, it reported 120 cases of COVID on board.
Yeah.
Now, it's not 1, it's not 2, it's 120.
Yeah, no, that's bad. If 120 people at once get it, yeah, that's a big outbreak.
I can't do percentage math in my head, but 120 of 2,000. I don't know if you quickly do. Let me see if I can do it.
Hey Siri, what percentage of 2,000 is 120?
120 divided by 2,000 is 6%.
6%.
By the way, what accent does your Siri have right now?
Aussie.
You and your Australian accent.
I love Australia.
So do I. But wow, that's ironic considering that this was Australian, this whole thing. Yeah. Hey, it works out. But 6% on the ship have COVID.
Yeah, I mean, how do you manage that? And also the waves and stuff. Now, I've been on a cruise ship where there's been some pretty fucked up seas. I got caught in the middle of Hurricane Earl back in 2010.
On a cruise ship?
Yep.
Holy crap.
The ship was literally doing this.
How did they protect everybody?
Well, everybody just stayed in their rooms and we just headed straight back to New York.
How far away?
We were in the Caribbean.
So how far away was that?
It's about 2-3 days.
Shit. That's crazy.
All the other ports of call were canceled. We headed straight back to New York.
So you basically were speeding back to New York at that point, right?
We ended up getting there a day before we were supposed to get off the boat. They told us, you can leave if you wish, but if you would like to stay the extra day, you can.
That's interesting. Okay.
So we were docked in New York. We could get off the boat and, drove home, but we decided, hey, we paid for 8 days. Let's make the most of it.
But that's crazy that you were stuck in the middle of you said a hurricane, you said?
Yeah, hurricane. It got so bad that they put barf bags by the elevators.
Oh, God. I can't do cruise ships. I'm kind of terrified of cruise ships, to be honest.
Again, it's been about 7 years since I've been on a cruise ship. I can't wait to actually go back.
I'm just terrified, of all the boat stories you hear about capsizing and all that stuff.
It's like 1 in a trillion.
I hope so. I don't know.
Yeah, watch. I'm the only exception, and I don't make it.
You better not.
I have 3 years, 2.5 years left of my contract.
Wow, Kyle. All right, we'll do one last story.
Okay.
If we don't get killed by some kind of random deformity. So a sailfish leaps out of the water and injures a woman off the Florida coast. Oh, we're back in Florida again.
Oh, great. Well,
a 70-year-old woman was stabbed by the bill of 100-pound, think about that, 100-pound sailfish.
Ow.
That leaped, out of the water and attacked her as her companions were trying to reel it in on a boat near the Florida coast.
Where was she stabbed?
It says the sailfish stabbed the woman in the groin area.
Oh, God. Oh, man, why?
Is that worse for a guy or worse for a girl?
I'm getting sympathy pains. Now, my sympathy pains are different. I get it in my chest. It goes from my chest. It goes down to the rest of my body. It sucks. Ugh.
But why are you trying to reel the fish in?
I don't know, man. Maybe they wanted to get some dinner.
Okay, but first of all, 70-year-old woman.
What do you mean 70-year-old woman?
No, I mean out fishing?
I think she was with her family or whatever,
I'm not saying she can't do it. It just seems like an odd pairing, for fishing. But it says Oh, good.
I think I was about to say what you're about to say. The woman told deputies that the attack happened so fast that she didn't have time to react. And the sailfish are probably one of the most fastest in the world, like the swordfish.
So why are you reeling it in?
They didn't know it was a swordfish or a sailfish. They thought it was just a fish.
That's why I'm...
Again,
go ahead.
Then again, I don't know how clean the water is out in Florida, but here in New York, you can't see because it's brown and murky.
Yeah, I was going to say in Florida, it's definitely clearer for sure.
Yeah.
That's the one thing they have going for them, the water.
Yeah.
But that's why I'm terrified of fishing also. Because I'm afraid of catching a gigantic fish that might eat me or something.
Hey, man, do we go fishing? Oh!
Wow. Way to take that episode officially off the rail.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's what I do. That's what I do best.
But I think we made it to the end of the episode. Look at that.
Look at that. That's fantastic.
But this was episode 40 of Beyond the Bench on the Empty the Bench podcast network, presented by Knack. Make sure you go get your Knack sling bag. Use our link in the description, and you'll get free shipping. Everyone loves free shipping. It is
I don't have my sling bag yet, but I still have my trusty Knack bag.
hopefully soon. It's a one bag life, so make sure you go out and get one. Make sure you listen to the Hirsh Show every Thursday. Make sure I get this right. Hopefully,
Yes.
we have a part 2 coming. We don't know when that part 2 is coming.
Next Thursday. It'll be coming next Thursday.
So if you go back and listen to part 1 of Brian Dunkelman, now if you don't know that name, he was the original season 1 host of American Idol.
Exactly. He talked about, his time on the show. He talked about, what went wrong with him and Ryan Seacrest, and the fact that he ended up getting eliminated from Idol.
Wow. You just had that standing by just for the sake of it?
Yes, because you know why?
Why?
This is American Idol.
Wow. I feel like you're just like a walking soundboard and you just happen to have like everything in your power.
Pretty much so, yes.
You're like me, like on Empty the Bench. I'll just start playing random things. Like I'll start playing curb music or circus music or just whatever comes to my mind at that point.
I don't know.
That sounded like you.
That's not me.
No, I'm saying that sounds like something you would do. All right. All right, we're babbling. But for Kyle Hirshon, make sure you go follow the show at The Hirsh Show on social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and wherever other technological social media platform.
Like what Vic DiBizzetta says, Google Plus, the Pony Express, your sister's ass.
Yes. Just please don't go on Truth Social, please.
Oh, please. Or
Getter. Just don't go on those platforms, please. We're begging you.
Don't be a maggot, please.
Yeah. And if you're looking for this show at Beyond the Bench One on all social media platforms as well. I think that's about it. Anything else you want to say, Kyle?
Choke.
That's impressive, I guess. But for Kyle Hirshon, I'm Nick Morgasen. Nick Fodera will be back for episode 41. We'll see you next week. Good night, everybody.
Bye-bye.